Have you ever walked into a room, said hello, and no one looked up? Or maybe you were sharing a story only to realize halfway through that no one was really listening. If that's ever happened to you, you're not alone. And let me be very clear, feeling invisible after a certain age isn't your fault, and it certainly doesn't mean you've lost your value. In fact, if you're over 70, you've likely lived through some of the most remarkable changes in history. You've worked, raised families, built communities, and carried wisdom that younger generations haven't even touched. So why then does the world sometimes treat us like we've faded into the background? There's a quiet shift that happens as we age. People start calling you sweetie or dear instead of listening to your ideas. Family members begin making decisions for you instead of with you. Salespeople speak to your son or daughter instead of to you, even if you're the one holding the credit card. It's subtle at first, but over time, it chips away at something very important, your confidence. And confidence is more than just feeling good. It's the spark that lets you speak your mind, take up space, and live on your own terms. So if you've been feeling like you're becoming invisible, or that the world has started to look past you, it's time to take that feeling, turn it around, and remind yourself and everyone else that you're still here and you're not going anywhere. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 powerful things you can do to reclaim your confidence after 70. Things that can help you feel more seen, more respected, and more connected to the life you deserve. Let's start with something simple, but incredibly powerful, the way you carry yourself. Now, I know that might sound basic, but hear me out. Your posture tells the world how you feel about yourself before you even open your mouth. Can you stand tall, shoulders back, head held high? People take notice. It sends a signal that says, I'm present, I matter, I have something to say. Many of us, especially as we age, start to slump without even realizing it. Maybe it's from years of work or from simply feeling tired. But posture isn't just about looking better. It changes how you feel too. Studies show that standing or sitting up straight can actually boost your mood and lower stress. You breathe better, think clearer, and yes, feel more confident. So try this the next time you walk into a room. Pause for a moment before you enter. Take a deep breath, lift your chin just slightly, roll your shoulders back, and walk in like you belong there. Because you do. Whether it's a doctor's office, a dinner party, or just your own living room with family, walk in with presence. You don't have to be loud, you just have to be there. Now let's talk about your voice. And I don't mean the volume, I mean your actual voice. Your opinions, your preferences, your stories. Somewhere along the way, many older adults start to feel like their voice doesn't matter anymore. Maybe someone talked over you at the table. Maybe your children made a big decision about your life and didn't include you. Or maybe it's just been a while since someone asked, what do you think? But the truth is, your voice matters now more than ever. And it's not about demanding attention. It's about giving yourself permission to speak up again. Start small, if you need to. Share your thoughts when you're with a friend. If your family is planning something that affects you, say clearly and calmly what you want. And when someone interrupts you, gently say, I wasn't finished yet. It's not rude. It's not pushy. It's honest. You have every right to be heard. Every time you use your voice, you build confidence, not just in how others see you, but in how you see yourself. And if it's been a while since you felt comfortable speaking up, I want to encourage you to practice. Yes, even by yourself. Talk out loud in front of the mirror. Read a paragraph from a book you like and focus on speaking with clarity. Even just hearing your own voice again, strong, clear, and steady, reminds you that it's still there. You haven't lost it. You've just been quiet for a little while. There's something else that often gets overlooked, and that's the power of how we dress. Now, before you roll your eyes, no, this isn't about looking younger or chasing trends. It's about expression. When we stop caring about what we wear, it often signals something deeper, that we don't feel worth the effort, but you are worth it. Think about how you feel when you wear something you love. Maybe a favorite color, a scarf that makes your eyes pop, or a pair of shoes that makes you feel put together. It changes your energy, doesn't it? That feeling radiates outward. People see it, and more importantly, you feel it. You don't need a whole new wardrobe. Start with something small. Maybe tomorrow, wear that blouse that makes you feel bright, or swap out that old cardigan for something that adds a little flair. Not because anyone else needs you to, but because you deserve to feel good when you look in the mirror. Confidence isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's in the way you smile at a stranger, or the way you enter a room like you have every right to be there. Because you do. You've lived a life full of stories, lessons, and value. And if the world's gotten a little too noisy to notice, then it's time to turn up the volume on your presence. Let's talk about something a little deeper, something that might sting a little at first, but stay with me. because it's also where the most powerful shift can happen. I want to talk about boundaries. That's right, in setting them, honoring them, and holding them. Because here's the truth. Part of feeling invisible isn't just about how others treat you. It's also about what you allow. And that can be a tough pill to swallow, especially if you've spent your life being the caregiver, the peacekeeper, the one who always says, it's fine. But you know what? It's not always fine. Not when someone constantly interrupts you. Not when your time is taken for granted. Not when decisions are made about your life without your input. And certainly not when you start putting everyone else's comfort before your own dignity. Confidence after 70 isn't about becoming someone new. It's about reclaiming the self-respect that was always there. Maybe just buried under years of being nice or not making waves. And that starts with setting clear boundaries. You don't have to be harsh. You don't have to raise your voice. But you do have to be clear. If your adult children talk down to you, say something like, I appreciate your help, but I still need to make my own choices. If someone dismisses your ideas, calmly say, I'd like to finish my thought. And here's the thing. People might be surprised at first. They might even push back. That's normal. Especially if they're used to you always going along with whatever's happening. But over time, as you continue to assert your boundaries with calm confidence, people will start to respond differently because they'll see the truth. You're not fading. You're standing up. And each time you do that, something inside you grows. You start to remember who you are. You stop asking for permission to exist. And that quiet fire inside, the one that's been dimmed, starts to burn a little brighter again. Now, let's talk about something that might seem unrelated, but actually plays a huge role in how visible and confident you feel, your daily environment. Specifically, the kind of people and energy you allow into your space. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you spent time with someone who truly sees you? Someone who listens, laughs with you, and treats you like you matter? Not just as someone's mom, dad, grandparent, or patient, but as a person? Because that matters more than you think. If you're constantly around people who talk over you, ignore you, or act like you're just there, it starts to wear you down, and you start to internalize it. That's when the invisible feeling really sinks in. So here's something you can do, and it doesn't require a big dramatic change. Start seeking out connection with people who lift you up. That could be one good friend, a neighbor, or even someone you meet through a class or hobby group. Don't underestimate how healing it can be to be seen and appreciated by just one person. You might say, but I don't really have anyone like that. And I hear you. Loneliness is real, and it can feel heavy, but that doesn't mean it's permanent. You can find connection in unexpected places. Join a walking group, a book club, a local senior center activity, or even a simple coffee group at a nearby cafe. And if none of that appeals to you, try this. Become that person for someone else. When you see someone else being overlooked or talked over, notice them. Smile. Start a conversation. You'd be surprised how often that energy comes back to you. Confidence grows in community, even small ones. You don't need a crowd. You just need to stop surrounding yourself with people who make you feel small and start connecting with people who remind you that you are still full of life, wisdom, and worth. And while we're on that note, let's talk about one more thing that's often misunderstood when it comes to confidence: your relationship with yourself. We talk so much about what others do, how they treat us, how they make us feel invisible. But sometimes, the voice that makes you feel the smallest is the one inside your own head. That voice that says, I'm too old for this, or no one wants to hear from me anymore, or what's the point? That voice isn't telling you the truth. It's just repeating what the world has tried to teach you. But here's the good news. You don't have to keep listening. You can change that voice. You deserve to change that voice. Start noticing when those negative thoughts creep in. Catch them. And gently, kindly, talk back. Say, actually, I'm not too old. I have experience that's valuable. Or, my voice matters, even if others forget it sometimes. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be kind to yourself. Confidence after 70 isn't about having all the answers. It's about standing tall in the truth of who you are. Flaws, wisdom, laughter lines, and all. And here's the most powerful thing of all. When you begin to treat yourself with more respect, the world starts to follow. Every step you take, whether it's adjusting your posture, speaking up, setting boundaries, changing your environment, or reworking your inner voice, sends a signal. Not just to the people around you, but to your own spirit. A signal that says, I'm still here, I still matter, and I'm not done living fully yet. There's one more piece to this puzzle, something that often gets forgotten in conversations about aging, but it might just be the most powerful tool of all: purpose. Now, I'm not talking about some grand, earth-shattering mission. You don't need to start a charity, write a book, or become a world traveler. Unless that's what you want to do. I'm talking about something much simpler, much closer to the heart. The feeling that you still have something to offer, that you're still contributing, still useful, still part of something. One of the reasons many people feel invisible after 70 isn't just because others overlook them. It's because they stop feeling needed. That sense of what now creeps in, especially if you've retired, lost a partner, or moved away from the people you once saw every day. But purpose doesn't disappear with age. It evolves. And sometimes it just needs a little nudge to come back to the surface. Think about what lights you up, even a little. Maybe it's helping a neighbor with their garden. Maybe it's volunteering once a week at the local library or mentoring someone younger than you. Maybe it's baking cookies for your grandchildren or writing letters to friends who live far away. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be yours. Even something as simple as keeping a plant alive, feeding the birds in your backyard, or calling someone who lives alone can fill your day with meaning. And when you do something that brings value, no matter how small, you reconnect with a part of yourself that's still deeply alive, still full of heart and strength. That sense of purpose gives you energy. It helps you get out of bed in the morning with direction. And it's one of the greatest antidotes to feeling invisible. Because when you know your life still means something, it shows. In the way you move, the way you talk, and the way you take up space in the world. And let's be honest, confidence doesn't come from being younger or thinner or louder. It comes from knowing who you are and knowing that you still have value, that you still have stories to tell, hands to hold, things to give, and things to learn. You've lived through decades of change, loss, joy, work, and growth. You've adapted to new technology, witnessed shifts in culture, raised families, built careers, and somehow you're still standing. That is strength. That is something no one can take from you. So if the world around you has started to blur you out, sharpen the image, remind them who you are. Reclaim your space. Stand taller. Speak louder. Dress in a way that reflects who you feel like inside. Say no when something doesn't feel right. And say yes when you feel that little spark inside you that says, I still want more. It's never too late to change how you show up in your life, and you don't need anyone's permission to do it. If you've ever sat in silence thinking, does anyone even see me anymore? Let me say this to you right now, from my heart. I see you. You're still here, and that means something. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten, and you are absolutely not done. So today, I challenge you. Take just one step. Pick one thing from what we've talked about and start there. Stand tall. Use your voice. Set a boundary. Reconnect with a friend. Or do one small thing that brings you joy and reminds you that your life still has purpose. You don't need to do it all at once, but you do need to start. Not for anyone else, for you. And if any part of this resonated with you, if you've ever felt overlooked, undervalued, or like you're fading into the background, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment and share your thoughts or your story. You never know who might read it and feel a little less alone because of your words. And if you found this helpful, please give this video a like. It really helps others find it too. And subscribe to the channel if you want more support, inspiration, and practical advice to help you live fully, confidently, and independently at any age. You're not just aging, you're evolving. You're not less, you're more. More experienced, more aware, more grounded in who you are and what matters. So let the world know it. Here's to living boldly, living loudly, and living fully, no matter how many candles are on your cake. You're not invisible, you're unstoppable.